I would love, even though I do what I do here, I would love to work a couple of days a week at a Geico. I would love that. I'd absolutely love for a couple of days a week to just work at either a car insurance or something to just kind of have that feeling of like getting in there, you get your cup of coffee, sit down, you open folders, you open a couple of files, you get on the computer, here comes the emails. We're all rolling eyes, looking at each other like, can you believe this? Can you believe this cunt? You know, you go out, you smoke a cigarette with somebody, you talk about the company, talk about the business. It's nothing better than that. There's nothing better than being in a dead-end job with other losers. I'm telling you. All I'm around right now is successful, wealthy people. It's terrible. It's miserable and horrible. Horrible. They all just want to take ayahuasca. That's all these people want to do is, they're all so goddamn rich. All they want to do is take ayahuasca and open their third eye and fourth eye and fifth eye. They want to all keep just taking different forms of DMT until the aliens get so sick of them in hyperspace. They keep going, you again? These aliens are in the other dimension going, will you go to work? Get a job. All these people are just every need, every need has been removed from their lives. So they're just like endlessly trying to explore their inner child. They're like fingering their inner child all the time. It's like, it's so annoying. Like, you can barely have a real conversation with any of them because they're up their own ass so far that they're like, it's crazy. So there's nothing better than being at a dead-end job with broke losers who have given up, because then you're going to actually have the best conversations. Some of the deepest, realest conversations I've ever had with anybody have, certainly not at my Friendsgiving, but the deepest, realest conversations I've had with anybody have been outside of like a call center or a mortgage office or whatever, smoking a cigarette in an empty parking lot, going, what the fuck are we going to do? How does this? You become like war buddies in a shitty job where people aren't going anywhere. You actually have, it becomes fun. Now, yes, there's negatives to that. I'm not an idiot. But what I am saying is, like, you close down all the offices, you throw away all the French vanilla creamer, you throw away all the Keurigs. What do you think happens? What do you think happens to people when you send them back to their domiciles and tell them to work from home? We would have fundraisers and stuff. You know, this is, now people hate it. People hate it. It's roundly criticized as being a meaningless way to spend your life. What a meaningless way to spend your life in a corporate America. It's meaningless. It's so mean to provide for your wife and kids. God, it's meaningless. Didn't you ever want to paint? And this idea that everybody is just shoving all their dreams down deep into them and then going, and there's some of that for sure, but also we're running a society here. Someone's got to work. Not everyone can fuck around all the time. Not everyone's going to be a millionaire because they invented a sock company. People are going to need to work. Someone's got to be a cog in a machine. Someone's got to be that guy. Someone's got to be the guy that walks into the office. You go, oh God, it's him. Someone's got to be that. Someone's got to be the mail guy. George, who's happy to give you the mail. Where do these people go? Everybody's not going. This whole ethos of like online hustler culture that we think that like everybody is just one crap psychology book away from being the CEO of their own empire is got to stop. It's got to go. A convention is nice. Going to a corporate convention with other losers is nice. Trying to get laid in a corporate convention in Cleveland, Ohio is a good life. You're not going to be a Kardashian. It is not happening. It's not going to happen. It's things that are good. The most fun you're going to have is at a bar in Cleveland, Ohio, at the convention for paralegals. I don't know what people do. But the point is, this is a good thing. I'm telling you that the demise of commercial real estate is bad. I worry about it. Nothing would make me happier than for a day or two to just be part of a corporate culture again. To go in and get an email, turn around to my buddy, like, hey man, he goes, you were out yesterday. Oof, Deb was on a tear. Dude, Deb was on a fucking tear. Maybe trouble at home or something, but that bitch is sick. Sick. Like, those conversations, it never happens. You're not allowed, it's like, when you work in those jobs, you're allowed to hate. It's encouraged. You're allowed to hate. You're allowed to be bitter, resentful. And then, how are you going to do that at home? That'll ruin your marriage. Your wife doesn't care about your job. She doesn't want to hear about how much I hate everybody. That's why you have an office. You have friends. You have buddies. You get a cocktail after work. You're allowed. I mean, that's got to go somewhere. That resentment, that ball of the anger you have inside of you, it's got to go somewhere. It's got to go to your buddies, to the left, to the right. What's wrong with Deb? She's a sick bitch. Deb's a sick fuck. She's sick. A couple of weeks ago, she thought she was having a stroke. That's how fucking wound up she gets. One day she is going to have a stroke because she's sick, man. That has to go somewhere. You can't say that to your wife at your house. Remember Deb? Deb, she's an underwriter. Well, she's sick. No, not physically. Something's wrong with her. I hate her. Will you talk to me about how much I hate? It'll never work. You'll be on the street. Your wife will leave. Your wife will say something like, maybe she's going through something. And you're like, oh, God. Oh, God. Well, what's this? I'm telling you, people go, oh, it's just a commercial real estate crisis. It is amputating an essential part of American society and civilization. That'll only be replaced, by the way, by further entering the dark Hamas tunnel of the internet, which is not good. We're at 55 already?
Yeah.
God, so much else I want to talk about. But does anything I'm saying make sense? It does. This is a great defense here of dead-end jobs. They're important, but they are important.
Yeah.
They are really important. And I know that you don't agree with anything I say because you drink the Kool-Aid.
What do you mean?
Meaning that people at your generation has been everything I'm saying about the embrace of the dead-end job, the embrace of the sterile corporate culture is antithetical to everything that you have been told and everything that I have been told too, which is to follow your dream and the rest of all that horse shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, we're supposed to aspire. Yeah.
Right. But don't you agree with me?
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be pawns too. I mean, we all heard that phrase.
It's not even about pawns. It's the happiest you'll ever be in your life. I'm telling you. Will anyone listen to me? The happiest you'll ever be in your life is in a dead-end job. You go, Deb, I hope Deb gets shot in the head. I would love to see her shot in the head. Everyone's laughing. Nothing's better than a laugh at work. A laugh at work, your buddies go, Chuck's hilarious. He did this whole thing. He acted out Deb getting raped. But I'm just telling you. I'm telling you right now, I wish to God I wasn't rich and I didn't live in this goddamn mansion. I wish to God I worked at Geico. What do you mean stop?
There's no
I'm
way.
serious. What do you mean there's no way?
I mean,
You don't understand anything about human nature, the complexities of it.
You want to go back, is what you're saying.
If I could just work in a corporate environment, you know, I'm just saying for a day or two, and I would, but I'm saying it's fun. I would love to get a fun laugh and. It's corporate. It's a corporate environment. We're all in there. This fucking company, not what it was. We're all sitting there. We go, it's not what it was, this company, huh? Used to work here, used to be treated differently. They don't treat us well anymore. Just to be with a bunch of bitter, resentful losers again, getting mad at a company they barely understand, being angry, eating big sandwiches and being angry with people, hating. Fuck that person. Fuck him. How did he get that deal? Well, his father is, of course. God damn it, of course. You know, it's great. I've ruined my goddamn life. I want to go back. I want to work for a shady financial company. Not like really bad, but just kind of like, just have those moments again. The corporate moment. Your lunch has arrived. Your lunch has arrived. Your lunch has arrived. Chicken cutlet, honey, pesto, mayo, roasted red peppers on ciabatta, a little side of macaroni salad or tomato salad, and hatred and anger and pomposity, to be pompous and to know better. And when the young guys come in, you go, you don't really know how it works. I'll tell you how it works. You seem like a good kid. Like, the paramilitary structure of it all. It's beautiful. It's actually beautiful. Compared to Hamas, compared to the other options, sex trafficking in Thailand or whatever. Yeah, I'm telling you. In certain countries, they put their own children in sex trafficking. I think it's better to work at IBM. I know it crushes your dreams. I know you want to be Fiona Apple. I know everybody wants to be Fiona Apple out there. And everybody just wants to go to Fiona Apple and be deep. I know. Or Phoebe Bridgers. Yeah. I'd respect Phoebe Bridgers more if she worked at IBM, personally. If she had all the talent she did, but still, like she wouldn't quit, and she worked at American Express. Like Phoebe Bridgers, and she sold American Express cards at her concerts. Like when all these people, wandered in and they're all sad, and she's got great music, but she's making them sadder with that, Sullivan or whatever she sings, that street song about the street. It is very good. It's like a nice, sad Christmas song. She's got a bunch of them. And she's like, after that, and then she goes, now you all also know that I work at American Express. And everyone's... And she goes, I want to tell you about a few of the benefits of this card. And then she starts doing interest rates and points and everything. And why do you have to choose one or the other? Why do you have to choose one or the other? Kevin Hart's not. He's Chase. He's got a card out now. He's got a card. God, I'd love a card. What about the Dylan card? Chase wouldn't do it. Who would do it?
Amex.
No, we'd have to go. We gotta go. We gotta go low. We gotta find like a teacher, like a teacher's credit union for we gotta find like some real scumbag arrangement. But I'm just telling you, this was the depth of this episode is gonna escape people because people don't know how lucky they are. This is my point. My point is this, and it's a pretty salient point. people do not know how lucky they are when they're this mundane life that you've created is actually great. This life of nothing is actually good. This life of like, ooh, someone brought donuts is actually good. It's actually peak civilization. How about that? How about that? It's actually peak civilization to just get up, roll out of bed, head into some office with a bunch of clowns, eat a donut, and then just email somebody that they've been denied for new liver or whatever the work is. Doesn't even matter what the work is. You just email someone, you go, we're not paying for that operation. Figure it out. And then you have a lunch with the guys. This is peak. It's peak. And we're past peak. Not to be the bearer of bad news, but that's peak. Peak civilization is like, I'm bored at work. I'm bored. Don't you think that people in Gaza want to be bored at work? Don't you think they want to be choosing which coffee creamer to use? You know? It really is. Sometimes I think I'm too smart to communicate with others, and that I should just sit kind of like the giver. Remember him? Did he even speak? No, he just took it all in. And that's where I think sometimes I am, because I keep trying to communicate with others and I'm at a loss, because who would defend American Express? Who would defend Geico? Who would say that that's the meaning of life? But it is. All these people write about the meaning of life. It really is to work at Geico. That's the meaning of life. Like the meaning of life. Not, there's a lot of meanings of life, but one of the meanings of life is to figure it out. To figure out how to just have food and shelter. You have basic needs that need to get met. And sometimes you meet, like, no matter what you end up doing, there's going to be periods of your life that you're going to work at places you don't like. You know, this is what's going to happen. Everybody's not going to be, the people on Stranger Things, those kids. Like, and they're going to pay late. They're going to pay later. They're going to pay later. And everyone pays. You don't get out without paying, you know? Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying, and a lot of people might disagree with me, is that a dead-end corporate gig where you're not too low and you're not too high and you're just kind of riding in the middle and you're going, you got a couple of free tickets to the game, you're taking some client, he's a real schmuck. But, he might re-up with you. You realize that's it. That is you did it. You did it, because the world is war and hell and famine and chaos and, or people taking ayahuasca in their Rolls Royce, try to figure out how deep is it? How do I need to actualize? But that's what it comes down to. So when you look at the state of chaos, it's all over the world. The idea that you have some boring dead-end corporate job is actually quite an accomplishment, not only of you, but of the people around you, yes or yes. Be happy with those things. Fight for them. Fight for the office. We're going back. We're going back. Where's that energy? It's all for Israel and the Palestine. Where's the energy to go back into the office, to crawl back into it? Crawl into it. We're going back. We're going back. Protest. Get your fat ass back in the office. Because Deb is a sick bitch. And you want to tell someone about it. I'm telling you, your life will not get better. Fight for this. No one's going to listen to me. God, they'll play this years from now. Years from now, after the people in this town have had me killed. Years from now, someone will hear this and they'll go, God, he was fucking right. God, he was right. We should have fought for the shitty little deli in the basement of the building. We should have fought for our office. We should have fought for the break room. We should have fought for it, for civilization. We should have fought. When we had the chance, we didn't, because we were all pompous and we all thought we were better than that. And we didn't need it. We didn't need to see each other in the flesh or talk to each other. That life was a series of gigs or schemes. Jobs were for losers. Schemes were better. Gigs were better. Even though they only enriched the fucking apps on our phones and kept us on a perpetual wheel, offered us nothing in the way of cohesive social environments. We all became lonely freaks in our cars, our houses, our apartments, on messenger bikes. Task rabbits showing up, installing a TV, and then leaving. All of this stuff. We didn't fight for the great American office, the great dead-end job, the great middle-class, mediocre, God, I wish I had fucking applied myself in college and I wouldn't be in this dump. The great backyard beer with your neighbor, fuck this place, 30 years, they tell you to fuck off at the end. I'm telling you, you didn't fight for it when you had the chance. The biggest regret of my life is that I don't work in an insurance company in Ohio. The privilege. You think I like driving this Bentley? It ruins every other car. I'm in a rental right now. It's insane. It's an Infinity. It's insane. I don't even know how it even happens. This Infinity truck is horrible. My greatest regret in my life is that I do not work in insurance in Ohio. Be smart. Fight for these things. I'm telling you. So many of you are not smart enough to understand this episode. It's very hard. It's very hard for me. How do I have a career at all? Right. You're right, because now I was killed in a tunnel by MI6 and the Mossad. All right. You keep doing this all the time. But you're right. I actually believe that the happiest I've ever been is not when I was going to Africa pretending to care about the babies. The happiest I've ever been was when I was in a bank with my girlfriends and we was all talking about who had bigger dicks, or the bankers, which banker had the biggest dick. That was really fun. I didn't like Africa. It was depressing. That's Princess Diana saying what we all know. Well, I hope. Do you understand what I'm saying? You've shook your head multiple times, but it's so hard, I think, to fully grasp if you're not a full genius.
I'm not as enlightened as you, but I do see where you're coming from. I do see, how the mundanity can be enjoyable.
It is. Not only is it enjoyable, it is it. That is it. Enjoy that. There's a few great moments and a few terrible ones, but in what you do every day is what your life is. Mm-hmm. People don't realize that. And they don't realize the purpose it serves. They're always looking for something else. It's very American to do that, by the way.